Every great film has had a storyline that made us shiver in anticipation of the next scene. Also, every great story has an important theme that we can relate to on some level. The films on this list may not be your favorite, but they've all had an impact on culture and filmmaking. With critics' reviews, history and love of media in mind, here are my top 12 films ever made. And even if you don't agree with all the films listed here, we're sure you'll agree with us about some of them. As one of the most controversial and talked about films of the 1990s, Fight Club had an incredible impact on popular culture, and overnight, Tyler Durden's line, "The first rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club," became one of the most popular quotes of the decade. One of the most well-known quotes comes from Star Wars, Episode 5: The Empire Strikes Back. Can you guess what that quote was? "I am your father." Nowadays, that is a very common pop culture reference, and as soon as it's quoted, we know where it came from. It's also interesting to note that before Empire was released in 1980, fans had no idea that Luke and Leia were twins. Additionally, no one knew Darth Vader was their father. The film is a heartwarming and endearing story about an Italian Jew who chooses to live life for his son during the Holocaust. This unconventional coming-of-age story is told through the eyes of Guido, the father, as he tries in vain to shield his son from the horrors happening around them both. The film has many beautiful moments and is entertaining throughout, but it also has serious themes that are worth discussing with children. It may be difficult for some viewers to see something so horrific as Hitler's rise, but this movie teaches us that we can laugh and love even in the darkest times. This film proves that love and hope can triumph over any obstacle. It's one of those rare films that gets better every time you watch it. The Avengers saved the world. Again. The end of Infinity War left us on the edge of our seats, and it was an emotional roller coaster watching our heroes team up in Endgame to undo Thanos' snap and bring back everyone who was lost. It's not a perfect movie, many things could have been done better, but it does deliver on the most important thing, giving fans what they want. We may never get the ultimate showdown between Thor and Thanos that we deserve, but this is close enough. Even if this is the end for some of these characters, I feel satisfied knowing that these actors gave their all for these roles, and delivered a satisfying conclusion to one of Marvel's best story arcs yet. Even if you're not interested in Japanese culture and anime, there are lots to enjoy and appreciate about Hayao Miyazaki's films. Spirited Away perfectly captures why his films are so enchanting. The second highest grossing anime film of all time, Spirited Away is a beautiful dark fairy tale about a girl who happens upon what seems to be an abandoned amusement park. She crosses into the realm of the gods and must not only keep herself alive but save her parents who have been turned into pigs. It won the 2003 Academy Award for a Best Animated Feature and remains an example of why fairy tales aren't all necessarily intended for small children. Based on the novel Schindler's Ark by Thomas Keneally, Steven Spielberg's Schindler's List not only won 7 Academy Awards but also went down as one of the greatest films of the century. In it, Spielberg chronicles the life of Oskar Schindler, a businessman living in World War II Germany who saved the lives of thousands of Jews by offering them jobs. Famous for being filmed almost entirely on one set, 12 Angry Men follows a jury as it attempts to reach a unanimous decision. When they first enter the deliberation room, 11 of the 12 men have already decided on a verdict, until Juror 8 starts bringing up things that could be considered reasonable doubt. It's a beautiful glimpse into human nature and the different motivations we all bring to the table. It wasn't until the film came out on television long after its initially disappointing performance at the box office that 12 Angry Men achieved its legendary status. A stunning film that was released in 2009, Avatar is the highest-grossing film of all time. This movie has everything a movie lover could ask for: action, adventure, and romance. The story of the movie is about a war in which humans are fighting against intelligent species living in Pandora. The main protagonist, Jake Sully, Sam Worthington, is a paraplegic Marine who has been recruited to fight in this conflict. His assignment is to infiltrate the world of the Nausicaa people inhabiting Pandora, who are resisting human encroachment into their territory. In his human form, he falls for a beautiful Nausicaa woman Neytiri, Zoe Saldana, and becomes torn between his duty as a soldier and his love for her. This is one of the most popular movies ever made. It's rated PG-13 and will keep you captivated from start to finish. Plus, there are some incredible special effects. No best movies list would be complete without a Tarantino film. Released in 1994, Pulp Fiction stars John Travolta, Samuel L. Jackson, and Uma Thurman. Stylistically, Pulp Fiction was a film that changed what people thought of independent filmmaking, and what it could do. 3 different stories are woven out of chronological order and take you on a sexy, weird, eye-popping violent ride that was everything you didn't know you wanted from a movie. It was nominated for 4 Academy Awards and won Best Original Screenplay. A visually stunning experience, Interstellar takes us on a journey through space and time. Christopher Nolan deftly weaves together the past and future to tell the story of a group of astronauts whose mission is to save the human race. With Earth in the throes of ecological disaster, the team must find out how best to save what remains, before it's too late. The effects in the movie are overwhelming and immersive as we truly feel like we're in these different eras across space and time, witnessing events unfold before our very eyes. It's also an incredibly thought-provoking experience that questions just how far we would go for our children. Will you sacrifice yourself for them? The Shawshank Redemption is a 1994 American drama film written and directed by Frank Darabont, based on the 1982 Stephen King novella Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption. The film stars Tim Robbins as Andy Dufresne, a convicted murderer who spends 2 decades in Shawshank State Penitentiary. It tells the story of his time inside and eventual escape through a tunnel he had been digging for 20 years with fellow prisoner Ellis Boyd Red Redding, Morgan Freeman. Released in 1972, the film is based on a book by Mario Puzo. The movie follows a man named Don Vito Corleone as he deals with the mafia in America. This movie is one of the best because it has everything a person could want: drama, violence, romance, and humor. Plus, it stars some of the most famous actors and actresses in Hollywood history such as Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. This guide offers recommendations of films of all genres so that you can find something you like, whether it's an action film, a drama, or a comedy. The following list of the 25 best films ever made should be enough to keep you entertained for years to come.
Любой